How's it going? I'm Ryan. Today I'm going to go over the two trades I took on NQ. Two winning trades. Overall, pretty nice day for me. Let's get into it. So, coming in the day, what I was watching is that we were setting that pre-market high right around this level. So, watching obviously potential rejections up here. And then we had this level down here where we'd seen some resistance prior, some support yesterday. So we were looking at support in this area. Um, None of my trades came at either this level or this level. They're actually kind of in the middle, as you can see, one here and one here. And those were mostly looking at the 15-minute chart and then price action here, and just letting things kind of confirm a direction or the other. So let's jump into it. So right out of the gate, like I said, we were kind of rejecting up here this pre-market high around that level. We open a little bit lower, kind of sell off, look a little bit weak. My first trade here was a long position. I entered long once we broke out and then retested that EMA. And then I sold up here. I added to my position, which was kind of a terrible place to add. And then I sold, my positions up here. So let's take a look at why I took this trade. First of all, on the 15-minute chart, we came down and we had tested this area previously, right? We see a pretty big spike in this area. We see some support in here, some support in here, some resistance here, some resistance 1, 2, 3 times here. And then we come down on that 15-minute chart, we hold and we start moving sideways, right? We're no longer creating lower lows and lower highs that we were having from here. We have this low, a lower high, lower low, lower high. But that pattern kind of stops. So we hit some resistance on this 15-minute. We get a close with that long wick on the bottom. We see some horizontal movement here. And then kind of one other thing that I was watching is this resistance that we had. If you look, we kept rejecting off of this. We break out of that. We retest both that resistance and the EMA. We flip both. And so I entered long here. I wish I entered my other two contracts when we pulled back here, but once we started moving up, looking pretty strong, I entered a little bit more, so I sized in a couple more contracts. I bought 5 originally, bought 2 more up here. I was thinking that we were going to get a bigger push. It turned out not to be a great add. You see I added near the top there. We kind of came around, I took the majority off up here, and then I just sold the single remainder right here as we were kind of pulling back. Didn't really want to risk it. Also, we had news. You can see this is around 7:50. We had news at 8 a.m. my time. So I knew that there's a potential for some chop or some, not favorable price action with news coming out so soon. So decided to get out of that instead of risking it. That was a decent win. That was my big win on the day for about $180 or so. From there, we kind of chop around. We have that news come out at 8 here. You see we get like some pretty volatile price action, still kind of chopping sideways, though we haven't really determined anything. You see that EMA is moving horizontally. That's a good indicator that we have some chop and not a clear trend. We're not breaking low a day. We're not really breaking like high a day. We're just kind of moving around. Finally, we get that break a low a day. You see that how much, I just want to highlight this. You see how much like support we had in this area, right? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 wicks in this little zone, right? And then we break it on high volume, pretty high volume. We break it on pretty high volume bearish candle. We come up and retest, and as we're retesting, I entered a short position. Since I already had a winning position on the day, or a winning trade on the day, I entered this light. I entered it with 2 contracts, as you see there. And that was simply just because we broke that. We were weak on the day, right? We weren't moving up, we were moving down. We have a high volume break of the low day that we had a lot of support, and we come up and we retest and we're looking a little bit weak. So I took a stab at it, like I said, with 2 contracts, not looking for a huge move. This actually was a much better move than what I had up here. So, maybe this would have been the trade to size into. But bought 2 here, took 1 off near that low day. Let's take a look at why I took that off there. Is because I was just looking back to, previous price action and what it did. And I was looking at this area in here where we kind of found some support. So I put my take profit in there. And then I had 1 contract left, at which point I didn't have a take profit specified. I just had a stop loss that I was moving down, had it at break even. We moved it down a little bit, and then this push up stopped me out. So 2 quick trades kind of in the first hour of the day. and a nice winning day overall. Let's take a look at what my stop loss was. So stop loss on this, like I said, I had that resistance drawn, the retest. My stop loss is down here is like 15 points or so. So if we broke back below and kind of come back into this area of chop, that would have stopped me out for about a 15-point loss. On this one, my stop loss was just above. I entered here, my stop loss was kind of just at these wicks up in here. So if we broke back above that EMA, it was about like an 11 or so point stop loss from where I entered. And yeah, you see the take profit down here. So both those trades worked out. We're growing that back after that losing day yesterday. Looking to continue that streak next week. I'm happy to end this week strong with a win on Friday. That's all I got for you. Really just looking to identify levels on higher time frames, watch price action around those levels on a 15-minute, and then wait for that also confirmation on the 5,000 well. If we get a good confirmation for looking weak here, if we're looking weak here, if I get a break and retest and weak price action around previous low, those are the things I'm looking for. So should be a decent explanation of why I took the two trades that I did and they happen to work out. So that's all I got. I'll be back next week. I appreciate you watching. Thank you very much. Hope you have a great rest of the day. Peace.